game.
We're back. We are, now that we've finished the Lego set, we got to pick a new one. And we want you guys to decide what we got. So let us know in the comments below. I'm sure it will really just come down to one person, but you never know.
Well, hey, you could be that one person. So
you
if you comment, you control...
So option number 1, the NASA Discovery Shuttle. This is a pretty big set. It's going to have 2,300 pieces. I think it's about $200. Pretty flip-flap and awesome. It has a lot of just white and black, though, so it might not be super fun to watch. It's always going to be the same color to you guys who can't see the individual pieces.
But we could fake our own moon landing.
Okay, the moon landing is in the other... I have the...
Oh,
that's the Saturn V that I have in the living room.
Excuse me.
I don't think they'll land on the moon with this one.
Oh, okay.
Could be wrong.
Yeah.
I don't think so. So there's that option. We have a Viking Village. This one's gonna have 2,100 pieces. I think it's about $180 or so. Pretty awesome. Got some cool Vikings in there. A lot more colorful on this one, but the pieces are a bit smaller, of course. But a lot more detail. It's a lot more detail oriented than the space shuttle. So that's option 2.
Yeah. And the pillage and rape.
Option number 3. I think this might be the fan favorite here. The DeLorean, of course. You can actually build any of the 3 versions from any of the movies. So if you guys do end up picking this one, we'll need at some point for you to decide which version we're going to build.
Oh, shit. So, like, is there different instructions then I take it? Like, if you want to start on that path?
So you can just do either of these.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like when you get like halfway through the book or something, they'll ask you which one do you want to build, and then you can build them. And I think they're pretty easy to interchange. I don't think it's like once you build one, you can't build the other one.
Yeah.
I think it's not too hard to...
Well, the main difference, like the middle photo, it just looks like the tires are facing downward for some reason.
It also has the thing in the back.
Oh, this little dealie. Okay.
Yeah. And then this one has like a thing in the front too.
Huh.
But I don't know. I haven't watched the movie in a while, so maybe we should do that. There's option 2 in that, or option 3, excuse me. Then option number 4, Big D, if I can grab it.
Damn, we got the big boy.
We got the big boy. The Lion Knight's Castle is going to run you $400 if you want to buy one yourself. I don't think they make it anymore. I think it is an exclusive now. It's going to have how many pieces? 4,514 pieces. Very impressive. Absolutely beautiful castle. This is a throwback to their olden days when they had, castle sets.
Well, and back to what you were talking about on the last video, there's a lot of guys in this one. Yeah, so like...
Yes, this one has many dudes.
Yeah, so if you're into, the people, this would be the one, because
so
we got a whole community
right
of
there.
folks.
You made the microphone?
Oh.
There you go. You can kind of see them all. There's like at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5... 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. At least 20 dudes.
Wow.
So.
Whole community.
Big one there. You also got horses and goats and stuff.
Oh, yeah, there's a cow.
Oh,
look at the baby goat.
Got a little wizard right there. So these, pretty incredible set. And it closes and opens up for play factor. So if you're a kid and you want to play in the castle with your little dolls, you can do that.
Look at all the plant life they got going on.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want to influence anyone's vote, but...
Again, this one's the biggest. Yeah. It's going to take us the longest.
Yeah.
So if you just want maybe a short arc, we can do the DeLorean, which I think is the smallest. 1800, yeah, the DeLorean's the smallest, so it should in theory be the fastest. But if you're like, frick it, let's go for another year.
Yeah.
We got this puppy right here.
Take a journey with us,
Yeah. But hey, it's up to you. Let us know in the comments below. We'll make our decision in 2 weeks, or I guess 1 week from the release of this episode. So you got 1 week to vote, and whichever one has the most votes, we will do.
Yeah.
For this episode, what were we talking about? You wanted to rant about fighting games or
something?
Well,
yeah, I mean, I figured we could just shoot the shit about what's going on with us. And yeah, right now, for me, like I touched on it on the last episode a little bit too, but like, it's forced me to do so much self-reflection, man. Like, so for those that don't know, one of my big passions in life, at least for the last, like, I'd say probably 2 decades, I'm really into fighting games. Like, typically, usually one-on-one fighting games. Like, I do, like, I'm currently playing a team battle fighting game right now. It's 3v3, Marvel versus Capcom. Which, what's so cool about that series is, like, all of the little nerdy arguments that you used to have, at least for Marvel superheroes, it's like, well, who would win in a fight? Wolverine versus Gambit, or Iron Man versus Doctor Doom, or, you know, the Juggernaut versus Colossus, like two, historically really, physically strong characters. Like, you can play out those battles, in real time, and it's so much fucking fun. But what really, angers me about the Marvel vs. Capcom series, like, when you think about the meta of the game, and for those that, like, aren't, in the know, is just basically, like, the basic strategy of the game of, like, what you're trying to accomplish, like, it's really big on assists. So, like, if you don't pick a good assist, you're basically gonna get steamrolled. Or, like, if someone has an assist that's, like, an anti-air assist, like, it just takes away jumping from you. It takes away a portion of the game, and it makes me, like, okay, so for you, how do you feel about tier whoring?
Tier whoring?
Yes.
I don't even know what that is.
So, like, as opposed to relying more so on your own skill, you just pick the best character in the game.
I mean, if you're trying to get to the top ranks, it's probably a good idea to do that. I've never played a game and been like, yeah, I want to be at the top. I just play the games for fun.
Right, to have fun and enjoy playing the game.
I usually pick the champions that I like playing.
So when you're playing League of Legends, like, can you see who your opponent's going to pick before the game starts?
So they have a draft. So one team will pick one, because it's 5v5. So one team will pick one person, and the next team picks two people, and then the first team picks two people, and the next team picks two people, and then the last team picks their last two people, and the last team picks their last person. So you might be able to know who you're going up against, but you also might not. It's like a 50-50.
So if you see that the other team has drafted a certain champion, can you already tell, like, how the game's going to go?
At my skill level, no, because they might just pick a champion that, like, if you're good with the champion, the game's going to go shit, but if you don't know what the hell you're doing, or it's like your first time playing the champion, then I'm just going to steamroll you because I'm on my main, But at the higher levels, people say that they can mostly see how it's going. I think they over-exaggerate it a little bit, but, there's definitely champions that counter your champion. Like, in general, your attack damage champion is going to beat a tank, right? Like, the classes in general will beat another class, and there are some matchups that are just completely unplayable.
Yeah.
Like, at the highest level, it doesn't really matter. Like, as long as both players know what the fuck they're doing, this one's gonna win every time.
Yeah.
Right? But, there's also, like, you can roam. Like, if my matchup's bad, then I can go help someone else's matchup. So it's not just, like, if I lost, it doesn't mean the game's just over. It just means I gotta play a little bit differently. I gotta play more passive, and I gotta look to influence the map.
Yeah, and see, that's I guess I just need to be more objective, because, like, playing Marvel, like, if you see somebody pick Storm and the Sentinel and Iron Man on the same team, it's like, okay, this guy's going for the infinite. He's not really looking to have a competitive match at all. Like, he just wants to fucking push.
Now, is the
shit
infinite
in,
like hard to do?
Yes.
Okay.
So, like, yes, if you can pull off Iron Man's infinite combo, you definitely deserved
the win.
Yeah, you deserve that damage, but, like, it's still just so shitty, like, being on the receiving end of it, and, like, just knowing that, like, okay, I'm not gonna touch the ground for the next 20 seconds. It fucking, I don't know, it does take some of the joy out of it, but, like, on the flip side, like...
Well, like, if you're doing the infinite, man, like, you're fucking hyped as fuck, man.
Yeah.
If you land it, you're like, oh my god, this is it! You
Yeah.
know, it's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Gotta let him have that moment,
And I'm guilty of it. I don't do the Iron Man, because, like, execution is not my thing. But I do use a Juggernaut assist, in which the Juggernaut, like, if you're familiar with the fucking Juggernaut, like, he's twice as big as everyone else in the game, 5 times stronger than almost everyone else in the game. So, like, my assist is super cheap too, and that's what I can either play a strong team and win and then feel empty after winning, or I can pick a team that I like and get steamrolled and be mad that I got steamrolled. But there's no in between. Like, I haven't found that sweet spot of, like, okay, I'm playing who I like, but I can still be competitive. You know what I mean? Like, It's so depressing.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can definitely see that. That's the thing with League of Legends, right? Is it's like I'm so bad that like even if I pick the good shit, I'm still not gonna win. So I may as well just pick what I'm gonna enjoy.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna lose no matter what.
And that's where I end up in most fighting games. Like right now, like everybody's getting back into Marvel too, but I can guarantee that like in like 2 months from now, like it doesn't matter. It won't matter who I pick. I'm still gonna get fucked up. And that's kind of how I am able to enjoy fighting games. Is like I will just like I'll play it while it's still new and while everyone's still learning it. But then, like, once everybody learns all the cheap shit and are playing competitively for points, I kind of, like, will migrate to something else. Because I just don't have the time or the patience, man, to, just to put in that much effort to lab.
I mean, do they not have, like, because League of Legends has, like, a normal mode and a ranked mode? Do they not have that in the fighting game? Or
Well,
you just
yeah.
put norms if you're just, like, a more chill, you're not looking to climb, you just want to throw
just
some
play.
punches?
Yeah, they have ranked and then they have casual, but the problem is a lot of times that I've experienced at least is, like I said, the wins just feel empty because, like, I question, like, okay, did I just beat a little kid? Is that why I won? Or, like, did I just...
Yeah, you sure did, right?
And I don't want to be that guy that, like, I won so convincingly that, like, some 8-year-old is just like, well, fuck fighting games, Like, I don't want to be that guy. But at the same time, like, I don't want to get teabagged, fucking. So it's like, I'm getting to the point where like I'm worried that I'm falling out of love with fighting games for that reason. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to, just pick the best character in the game in order to survive. But then like, I don't want to get dog walked either. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So it's like, it's a really tricky predicament that I find myself in.
I mean, I can't in good faith recommend League of Legends to you, but I just don't think that's a problem in League of Legends.
Yeah.
Just because the balance team is, I mean, everyone hates on the balance team, but they're actually pretty good. They're going to get every single champion within 5% of a 50% win rate.
Yeah, that's rare, man.
Which is pretty impressive stuff. And the game's always changing too, so, if a champion's really good, right now, in about 2 weeks, they'll change it, and maybe the champion won't be good anymore. The meta's always shifting, so I don't really find that as big of an issue. The more important thing, especially in the lower rankings, is just how good you are at the specific champion. You could pick the worst champion in the game, but if you're good with them, you're going to stomp someone who's decent at the best champion in the game. If you're not at the highest level, your skill level on that specific champion is going to be much more important than how good the champion is just in general.
Yeah, that's super rare, especially for a game with so many characters.
Yeah,
because like on the flip
so
side, like Dragon Ball Fighters is another team fighting game, but like if you run into a team and they have Android 21, like unless you've got like I don't know GT Goku or like maybe 3 or 4 different fusion 3 characters that are all fusion characters, like Android 21 was banned from tournament play. Like, she's so much fucking stronger than everyone else. So, like, fighting games, it's hard to do that, I feel like. Like, there's always a top tier. You know what I mean? Like, there's always going to be at least 3 or 4 characters that stand way above the middle of the road characters. And, I mean, I don't play Mortal Kombat games because they're, like, just cheap fucking spam filled projectile fight. Like I don't know, but in which if you play Mortal Kombat, I'm sorry, but it's true. Fucking but yeah, man, like just the whole I've been struggling with that. Like I don't want to be a tier whore, but
with League of Legends, the thing that way they do it is having more champions really helps that. Because let's say you have a champion that's really good in like the current meta, there's still going to be a champion out there that counters it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's going to be something, like, out of the roster, the 150 champions they got, there's something out there that you could pick that it's going to struggle against. There's no one guy who just beats everyone, And it also, another thing to do is it's 5v5, right? So it's not just 1v1, right? Like, maybe you have a champion who, 9 times out of 10, wins his 1v1 up in his, his own lane, but if his other teammates did shit, and he has no roaming potential to influence the map, the win rate's going to drop significantly because of that. Right? So it's a little, same within 5% of 50% for all the characters. It's a little bit inflated because if you took out the other teammates, they weren't, tying everything closer to 50%. It'd probably be closer to, maybe 60 or 70%. But, definitely having a bigger roster, I think, sure helps because there's something out there that'll beat it.
So where does all the toxicity come from? Just people having to work together?
I think it's people not being able to communicate. There's no voice chat.
Oh.
So, if your mind is like, hey, let's, push the tower, let's get this objective, and your teammate's like, I want to go farm and get gold, right? Then you're going to sit there and say, why the hell is this guy farming and getting gold? We should have pushed the tower. We could have gotten it.
Man.
And then your teammate's like, why the hell is this guy pushing the tower? I'm not with him. He's overextending. He's going to die, right? So it's, if you just do what your teammate does, it ends up being fine either way. But when you do different stuff, you're both looking at each other like he's a fucking idiot.
So then, does it usually boil down to, like, people just having to be the bigger person and be like, okay, we're just going to do what this guy's doing? Like, if there's no way to communicate?
I mean, there is chat, but, like, if you're in the middle of fighting, you can't type in chat, unless you're really good, I guess.
Yes, yeah, man.
So you can do it afterward, but there's also pings, too, so you can tell your team, like, hey, I want assistance, or hey, danger, or enemies missing, or stuff like that. So there's 8 different, like, notifications you can give your team on the map to let them know general information, but that doesn't mean they're going to listen to it.
Right.
Or you might be using that ping to convey something else, right? Like, for instance, the enemy ping, or enemy missing ping is a question mark. So it's a little question mark that says, I don't know where my enemy is at, he might be roaming to your lane. That's what his intended purpose was. No one has ever used it as that. It is a question mark. So when you do something fucking stupid, you're going to get hit with question marks like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right. Damn, dude.
So that's an example, right?
Yeah.
Like, I might be pinging, danger, like, hey, someone's going to come try to kill you. But they might be like, oh, I need to go investigate that area to see what's going on. They might just misread what I'm trying to tell them, and then, I'm mad at them because they didn't understand, and they're mad at me because I gave them a bad ping. So that's where most of the toxicity comes from, I feel like.
Good God.
There's definitely some people out there who, like, get mad about matchups and stuff, but it's really not too bad. 'Cause there's so many champions, you're not going to be playing, the same matchup all the time. So you can't really get too mad about a specific one because you don't see it too often.
Now, who makes League? Is it Bethesda? Or...
No, it's Riot Games.
Riot, okay.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever felt like Riot Games has gone out of their way to just be like, fuck you?
I did kind of feel that way. One of my favorite characters is Tom Kench. He's a big ass fish. He's like a catfish guy. His whole thing is he's the river king. So he's like, his story is he's like a fish that lives in the river, and he's like a demon. So like he'll give you a deal, but it's like, there's a catch in a deal that you don't know about, obviously, and then he's like, I fucking got you fucking loser. That's his whole thing.
Typical demon.
But I freaking loved playing this guy. He was so much fun. He had this move. It was one of his basic abilities where he could just eat people. He could eat champions. He could eat minions. He could just eat things. That was his thing. He would eat shit.
So like Kirby, kind of.
Yeah, kind of like Kirby. But he would spit him. Well, I guess Kirby spits them out too, but he wouldn't gain their powers. He would just eat them. He would just fucking eat them. It was so much fun. It was such a good time. And then the problem was that he was just too good in the professional scene. Like, he was just really powerful because you could eat your teammate too. You could eat enemies and teammates. Mm-hmm. And when you eat the teammate can't be hurt, and that's like busted.
Oh,
right?
Wow!
So the pros would use that, but like you could put yourself in a bad situation, and as long as you got Tom Kench near you, he could eat you and get you out. So they didn't like that. They didn't like that in the pro scene, so they had to nerf him. So they changed his kit around a little bit. They made his eat move, they made it his ultimate move, so it had a much longer cooldown. So that way you couldn't rely on Tom Kench. They made it more powerful, but then they moved his ultimate to his basic ability, and they made it a lot worse. Which wasn't too bad. His ultimate move was just like a really big teleport, pretty much. Like, when it was his ultimate, you could teleport almost anywhere on the map. And then they made it, you could just, like, teleport in an okay circle around you, and it would take, like, a little bit longer.
Well, I could see how that would be powerful, because, like you said, okay, you could fucking just put yourself in a situation where, like, oh, shit, now I'm being ganged up on, and he can just eat you and teleport away.
Well, the teleport would have a cast time, so if they stopped your movement while you were casting it, you wouldn't be able to take him away. But yeah, you could eat someone and then just teleport them across the fucking map with you. It was so dope. It was so fucking cool. I loved Tom Kench because he was a support champion, and that's my preferred role. I like playing the support.
Yeah.
And then they changed him all around, and it turned him into a top laner, is what it did, because they made him he doesn't really care about being next to a person anymore because he can't eat him, once but every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So they made it pretty much turned him into a top laner, and I didn't like playing top. I don't like playing top at all, so I didn't really like that they did that. But he was still playable in support. Like, you could still play him. And then what they did was they fucking gutted him because he was too powerful in top lane now. Okay, so they just gutted him. They were just like, nope, he's too strong, just cut him. And he was just trash for so long. They made him do, like, no damage. It wasn't fun to play at all because you couldn't play him in support because he was just so horrible. And you couldn't even really play him in top lane because he just didn't do anything. It was really bad. They just gutted him. And I was like, damn, that really freaking sucks because I like playing him. They buffed him up again now, and now he's a lot better. But you still can't really play him support, which is a real shame. But he's definitely a lot better than he was back when they gutted him. But they just fucking gutted the shit out of him. They just made him completely unplayable. It was a good time, though.
That tends to happen. Like, because, like, it's weird. Like, once the Nerf bat comes out, like, there's no... Like, a character's either good or they aren't. You know what I mean? And, like, once you start taking away, like, you don't think... But then, with there being so many champions, like, you don't think they could have just buffed the other characters as opposed to nerfing him? You know what I mean? Like...
Well, how would you buff them, right? Because, like, you have to make them kill the person who's caught out faster. Well, then people are just way too strong. They just die too fast.
Yeah. And
that was actually a problem that they had. They had to... A couple of years back, they had to do the durability patch, where they literally... gave everyone more tankiness across the board because people were just dying so fast because of the power creep that they had over the last years.
Damn.
So, it's... I mean, I see why they had to do it, right? Because the pro scene, that's how, people get into League. They watch the pro scene and they're like, damn, I want to hop on a game of League now.
Yeah.
So if you see in the pro scene that this Tom Kench guy is just slaughtering in the bot lane, he's just completely busted. He can eat his teammate every 20 seconds. Absolutely insane. And it's not fun for the pros, too, because it's like, they got to deal with that. It's like, it's not really fun. You think you finally catch someone out, and it's like, oh no, here comes Tom Kench, eating him out. And it was, So I understand why they had to do it. I don't think it was an attack at me or anything, but it definitely was, like, freaking trash. There was another thing that I loved doing. It was so horrible, but it was so good. There's a champion, Udyr, who would, like, swap between stances, pretty much. So you had, like, one stance where he'd, like, move fast, one stance where he did more damage, one stance where he did, like, damage around him, and an AoE, and one stance where he had, like, a shield. You just swap between them. That was pretty cool. But anyways, I would play that champion support, which was not... He's not a support. That's not where he goes at all. And I would just do the fast one, the one that makes him go fast, and I would just build full movement speed items, and just be as fast as I could, and just fucking run around, and do absolutely nothing. And just run around people, and just, like... And the best part was the fast stance. When you attack someone, your first attack against them stuns them. So you just walk up, slap them, and then run away. And I loved it so much.
I could see how that'd be your playstyle.
But then they cut out quite a few of the items and things that made it work. So there's 2 key items that I liked about it. There was the Ancient Coin, which was the only support item that gave you movement speed. And then there was Kleptomancy, which was a move that where you hit someone, you get, like, a random item. Like, literally a shitty item, just give you, like, a really tiny buff for, like, 20 seconds or something, like a little potion.
Yeah.
But it was so much fun. You just run up, slap them, get a potion, run away, and drink it. It was so much fun. And then they got rid of both Klepto and the coin in the same update, and I was like, you fucking bastards.
Damn, man.
But Klepto was really, really busted, so it was probably warranted to get rid of it. They now have another rune that took its place that's much better for the game, in my opinion, because instead of giving you, like, a random item, it just gives you a little bit of gold, which you can then use to buy an item, so it's a lot better. But it still does pretty much the same thing, rewards you for attacking.
Yeah. Well, the reason I asked is because, in which, I don't know, I correlate a lot of, like, how I feel about professional wrestling and video games are, like, pretty similar, because, like, it feels like an abusive relationship almost, in the sense that, like, at Capcom especially, man, the people that make Marvel vs. Capcom, I feel like they have gone out of their way to say fuck you to their fans a couple of times. Like, Marvel vs. Capcom, I think it was Marvel 3, like, we knew that there was going to be DLC characters, and everybody begged for Mega Man X to be like one of the guest characters that they put in the game. So instead of putting Mega Man X in Marvel vs. Capcom, Tekken vs. Street Fighter was coming out, and that was a huge fucking deal because this is a 3D game versus a 2D game, two different developers. Like, nobody ever thought that would ever be a thing. Their first DLC guest character, it wasn't Mega Man X. It was a guy dressed as Mega Man, and he was like really fat and really sloppy, and he just had like a gun. He was like really super shitty, and like it was obvious troll. Like, oh, you guys want Mega Man, so like, here, take this guy. So then after they did that, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Now this is years and years later, but like, you know, oh shit, new Marvel vs. Capcom game. Everybody's super excited. Marvel's biggest heroes are the X-Men. So they released this game, and there's no X-Men in the game.
How do you do that?
At all. Exactly. Like, that's what, like,
not a single one.
Well, and like I was telling you, like, how, like, in Marvel 2, like, most competitive teams, like, if you're playing in tournament play, will either have, if not all three, Magneto, Storm, and the Sentinel. Like, none of them were in the game.
That's crazy.
And, like, they had, like, pro players come out, like this guy Combo Fiend, and he's like, well, you like Magneto because of his functions. So, like, if you really miss Magneto, just play Nova, because he can fly. And it's like, well, what if you like the character?
Yeah, that's a pretty bad argument.
And, like, you fucking... But they do shit like that, dude, like, all the time. Like, back to Mega Man. Like, everybody wanted a Mega Man game for so long, like a new Mega Man game, and they would, like, release collections, and they'd be like, well, you know, nobody bought the collection, so we didn't think that was popular anymore, and just, I don't know what it is, but, like, I just get this sense that they, like, well, especially, like, there's been a stigma that they don't really like their American fans, you know, anyways, but it's just, like, if I'm spending all this money, like, why are you going out of your way to say fuck you to me? Like, that's why I canceled the WWE Network, too, like, way back in the day when that was still a thing, was because, like, they would do these promos like they were in character, but they would only say things that, like, internet fans would pick up on, like, you know, the typical casual fan wouldn't pick. It's like, you really don't want my patronage? Like, fine, you know what I mean? But that's what I was asking. Like, it's weird. And it feels like an abusive relationship because, like, you hope they'll change. You know what I mean? But they never do.
Any corporation, developer, you know, any company at all, you know, they're for profit. They're out there to make money.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not try to be like, oh, they're out there trying to make a good product for us. The only reason they want to make a good product for us is so that we'll buy it and they'll make money. Okay, that's it. So, you know, your money really talks. If you want them to do something, you need to get yourself and the whole community to, you know, not buy it, or to buy it when it is something that you like. You know, that's really how you tell the corporations what you want. And usually when they make a decision like that, you know, it's usually calculated. They look at it and they say, yeah, this is going to fuck over, you know, 20% of our player base, and they're probably going to be upset. Question number one, are they going to stop spending money? Right, that's the first question they're going to ask. Is this demographic that we're fucking going to stop buying? Right? And then number two, is the demographic that we're hopefully, you know, not fucking and then it, you know, is helping, are they going to spend more money?
Yeah.
Right? And then, you know, which one is better? Right. Most of the time when you see a game like that, the demographic that they're fucking isn't going to stop spending money. They're just going to complain about it for 2 weeks and then continue. Right? It's like... exactly. Like, we're all guilty of it. You know, I'm guilty of it too. You know, League of Legends... I've stopped spending a lot of money on League of Legends for sure. I already put enough money into that game. And I don't play it enough to warrant putting money into it. But, you know, there's always going to be out there, and it's just going to be like, is what they're doing really going to stop you from spending money? Probably not, because you like doing it. You want to give them a little bit more money, you know, whatever your reason is. So, and then if it's going to help another demographic spend more money, you fucking know they're going to do it. You know, it doesn't even matter. It's just a no-brainer for them. So.
Yeah, the Capcom, dude. Like, Street Fighter V. Akuma. Super popular character. Like, And he's usually DLC because they know, you'll drop
You'll buy it.
the $6 to get him. So this time around, though, he was DLC, and they changed his costume. So, like, his default costume, he had this really stupid fucking hairdo. He was, like, old and shitty looking. But then, if you wanted to spend the extra dough, so the character itself was $6. But then you could get the classic costume for $10. So it's like, oh man, I'm this fucking idiot. But like, of course I did it because that's my favorite character. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But like, I only feel like that with Capcom. Like, I don't feel like,
Oh, every company does it, man. You gotta look at. Just look at League of Legends, okay? Look at the champions that have the most skins, okay? Every single one of them is Big Booba Girl, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Every single fucking one of them that has the most skins is Big Booba Girl.
Yeah.
Alright? It's not even a question. They know it sells, and they're gonna sell it, okay?
That's so scummy, man.
That's how it is, man. Big Booba, sex sells, baby.
Yeah, it
Sex
sure
sells.
does. It sure does.
Yeah.
Man.
But like, look at it, and the champions that have like the least skins, like frickin' Ornn, he's just like a big ram. Like, he's not appealing to look at or anything like that.
Yeah.
So don't make skins for him because no one's gonna buy him, and no one really plays Ornn either. Like, Ornn's not super popular, and the people who play Ornn, like, his whole like character is like, I don't give a fuck, leave me alone. It's like if you play Ornn, you're not buying a skin.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm just playing Ornn. I'm just doing my thing. I don't really care if I have a skin or not. I don't give a fuck, leave me alone. So he doesn't have like any skins at all. He's been out for like 5 years and he has like 4 skins. And then you look at someone like Kaisa, who's been out about the same length of time, and she has like 10 skins. And it's like, she has boobs. That's the reason, man. She's got boobs, alright? We get it, okay? She's got boobs, alright? Thank you for letting me know.
It doesn't make you feel like, I don't know, I just wish I could change, though. You know what I mean? So I'm not like taken advantage of in those ways, Cause
you just gotta look at it and be like, do I really need it? Is it gonna make me happy? Is it worth the money? And at the same time, it's like, is it really that bad for a corporation to, exploit you for your money? That's what they're trying to do. If this is what's gonna make you the happiest, like if this is gonna make their player base the happiest, release Big Booba Girl skin, right? That's gonna make the most people the most happy. Why shouldn't they do it?
Yeah. But I don't feel like Capcom does that, though. I feel like they do the opposite of that in a lot of instances. Like,
there's a bad corporation.
Yeah, man. Dude. And it hurts, because, like, as long as I can remember, as long as I can remember being a fan of fighting games, like, it's always been Street Fighter. It's always been, Marvel versus Capcom. Like, that's, and it just sucks that, like, as an adult, like, you can see, like, all of these shitty practices, and it's like, man, I need that, boost of nostalgia, like, been a shitty work day, but, like, I really don't want to pay you for it, like.
Yeah, nostalgia is definitely a trap.
Yeah.
I think, for sure. I think you can't really, like, hunt for nostalgia, it's just kind of gotta hit you.
Yeah.
Because if you just go out looking for it, you're either not gonna find it, or you're gonna have it, but then it's not gonna be cool because you were looking for it.
Yeah. And it's like,
it's nostalgic, and then you're like, but that's what I was like, hype myself up for it, so now it's nothing.
It's like, damn, these graphics hurt my eyes. This isn't as awesome as I thought it was gonna be.
Exactly. You're like, oh, it'll be so cool, and then you're like, wait, this is what it was like?
Yeah, like, what the hell?
I liked this, what the hell? Yeah. So.
Man. Do you remember the first video game that you beat to completion, like, all the way through?
Oh, I don't know. It had to have been, would it be Super Mario World 2?
Oh, okay.
That's got to be up there for sure. I think that was before, because it would be the Game Boy days, right? So Super Mario World 2 would be Game Boy. What else did I have on Game Boy? I don't even know.
Shit, Game Boy. Yeah, it was like Mario games and, like, there was a lot of platforms. Did you ever play Metroid?
No.
That was big.
I think it had to be Super Mario World 2.
Yeah.
That was, well, there was Super Mario World 3. I had that one too.
Yeah?
On Game Boy. That one was cool. I'm trying to think, man, what else did I have on Game Boy?
Yeah, what was big back then? Like Paperboy? Did you play that?
No. I feel like I had a decent chunk of Game Boy games. Maybe I didn't have that many, or I didn't play them that much.
Well, Mario was a big part of, especially the handheld games, because you couldn't really,
Yeah.
I mean, you don't strike me as a Castlevania kind of guy.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I was pretty young when this came out, so like anything with like, any blood at all wouldn't be allowed.
Oh yeah.
Because I was like 5 or something.
Oh okay.
Yeah, it wasn't 5 or 6. Like,
So yeah,
my
no
parents
Mortal Kombat, no.
Yeah. My parents, they weren't like insanely protective, but like, they're not gonna let a 5-year-old play a game that has murder and blood in it.
Yeah. In which, yeah, I don't. I probably should have been shielded from a lot, because I definitely was playing Mortal Kombat in grade school. Fucking, it was like you talk about like entering like button codes and stuff like that, because like the Sega Genesis version of Mortal Kombat, like the default version, there was no blood. You had to find the blood code, and you'd put the blood code in, and then they would bleed. But
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember like my brother got Resident Evil.
Oh.
For the GameCube, and I wasn't allowed to watch him play.
Understandably so, man.
He's only 3 years older than me, so it's like kind of weird. And then I remember like my parents wouldn't let me get Modern Warfare for quite a while. I think I had to be like 12 or something before I was able to get Modern Warfare. I think they said 13 was when they let me do it, but then let me do it at 12 because it was like, fuck it, you're close enough.
Right.
But I just have to like go to my friend's house. I wanted to play Modern Warfare. That was always fun. Going to your friend's house, play a game that you weren't allowed to play at your house. Yeah, those are the days, man. Hell yeah.
I had a buddy, his dad was a pretty, he was, because like when I grew up on the military base, but his dad was ranked pretty high, so yeah, he had like all the fucking video games, and yeah, we'd play Killer Instinct though for hours, man. That was a combo break, like the announcer guy.
Combo.
Yeah, he was fucking intense, man. But yeah, those were we would play for hours, man. Killer Instinct, Star Fox was another big one that we would play.
But growing up, the games that I like remember the most, like I don't really remember beating Super Mario World 2. Like I'm pretty sure I did, because I remember playing it and having trouble with a lot of the levels. But I don't actually remember like beating it.
Yeah.
And then the other games that I remember quite a bit growing up were like party games. You don't really beat them.
No,
We're talking like Kirby Air Ride. We're talking Super Mario Party. We're talking Mario Kart. Games that like there's no. I mean, you win the race, but like you can't really beat the entire game. There's not really, other than like maybe getting gold on all the tracks in Mario Kart or something. But that was more of what it was for me growing up. I guess Pokemon would be the first one that I actually remember definitively beating. The Pokemon, I think I played Pokemon Black. So all my friends had Pokemon White, and I was like, I guess I gotta get Black for the exclusive so we can trade.
Oh, right on.
So that's probably the first one that I remember. Like, I can remember the ending of that game in my brain. So.
Yeah, most of my experience, like especially young, like was renting video games. So like us beating a game, that was like either the game was really easy, or you know what I mean, like
really short,
or we rented it like 3 or 4 times. And fucking kept the. That was back when like there was not really much saving. You would write down codes, and then you enter the code, and then you would get to start back from where.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like Castlevania and shit like that. Yeah, you had to write down like all these fucking codes.
Yeah. No, that was a good time of gaming, man. Back where you had to, like, there wasn't save files, and you just had to. The game just implemented codes for you to enter, and then they would just give you the code before each level. Yeah. Yeah, that was. That's some gaming history right there.
It was definitely more rewarding, when you just couldn't just quick save, and start right back from, where
but then the internet came out, and then everyone knew the last levels could.
That too.
Ruined it for everyone.
Yeah. Shit. Has a video game ever made you cry?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, oh man. I'm sure it has happened. It's not coming to me right now, man.
Yeah.
I know it's freaking happened. Damn it, dude. I might have to look through my freaking Steam library to see. I mean, I've watched. What is it? I'm pretty sure I've watched playthroughs that have gotten me teary too, man.
Oh, yeah, like what?
I don't know, dude. Like my brain, it's like I can't. I know it's for sure got to have happened at some point, but I can't. My brain can't.
Was it The Last of Us?
Right now, I didn't play The Last of Us or watch it, but I know that one freaking hit hard.
I watched it. I've never played it personally, but I found a YouTube
Oh,
full
freaking
game movie.
God of War Ragnarok.
Oh, okay.
That one, I don't think I like bawled, but I was tearing up watching the playthrough of that. That was some deep shit right there.
Yeah.
God of War goes pretty hard.
Yeah, a lot of father-son bonding.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Well, I mean, the part that makes you cry wasn't that. I don't know. It's some massive spoilers. But, like, one of just the side characters. They're, like, two brothers. And at the end of the game, one of the brothers dies. And these are brothers that, like, in the first game... Not the first... Well, I guess it was kind of the first game. They were, like, not together. They, like, had a falling out. And then you and your dad, you know... The God of War and the son, whatever, they got them back together. And then they were all happy.
Oh,
and
the
then,
dwarf guys.
Yeah, the dwarf guys.
Oh, yeah, that was fucking
Yeah, he
sad.
dies, and then the other dwarf is, like, just completely devastated.
Yeah, and, like, kind of
like,
pissed off at the son a little bit.
Yeah.
And he, like, he kind of blames him for it a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
That was pretty,
That was sad.
That was pretty sad, just seeing how he reacted to it.
Yeah.
It's like, man, that's unfortunate. Man, you got me questioning, though. Like, I know I've seen games that have got to have gotten me teary up. I don't know. Oh! Like Red Dead Redemption, man. Red Dead Redemption 2? Yeah. Ending to that one was pretty crazy.
I'm not familiar. I might have to check into that.
Your playable character dies at the end. Spoiler alert.
Oh, damn.
But, like, he goes through, like you see, like, him slowly die. Like, he gets, like, a sickness. It's like, you know, back in the Wild West is the time frame.
Oh, shit. So, like, was
and
it
he gets,
tuberculosis
like,
or something?
Something like that. You know, something that, like, nowadays wouldn't even be a problem. But back then would just kill you.
Yeah.
And you just see him, like, in the cutscenes, right? He'd be, like, totally healthy, fine, and then he would just slowly deteriorate over the course of the playthrough until eventually he dies. And it's just like, that's like, whew!
That's a cool concept, though, because, like, I mean, does that affect the gameplay? Like, as you're, like, deeper into the story? Is it, like, harder to do?
I think other than you just, like, coughing in some dialogues, I don't think so. It's too bad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I never played again. This was just I've watched the playthrough.
That'd be a cool concept, though. Like, your character's terminally ill. So, like, the longer you play, like, the harder it would be to do shit, you know? Like,
yeah, it was...
Stamina meter be lower, and... That'd be a pretty cool concept.
Freaking crazy out there.
Yeah.
We got The Last of Us. I've definitely seen clips of that one, and that one goes... I've never played it, never seen a playthrough, but I've seen some clips, and I know that one's a very emotional game, for sure.
A lot of emotion there. My bitch ass, I cried at the end of, it wasn't even, it was, this fighting game called Guilty Gear, and it wasn't even the story, because I was, like, only halfway paying attention to the story, but, like, they just started playing this song and rolling the credits and, like, showing...
Oh, man, if there's a song, dude.
Yeah. It got me.
A good song will get you, for sure.
Guilty Gear's over.
Yeah.
Fucking, yeah.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think. I want to walk with my computer and check my Steam library really quick.
Alright.
Don't mind me.
Yeah, I'll try to think of some other emotional games in the interim. That, like, of course, a big one for, I'm sure, a lot of people, like, if you're gamers at home, Final Fantasy VII.
That's one with Cloud, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the flower girl
Yeah.
gets killed on the first disc, and that was very emotional.
Yeah. That one goes crazy.
Yeah. Shit, though. Is it Final Fantasy X, I want to say? You talk about the main character dying. This guy, you go through the whole game with him just to find out he's not even real. Like, it's just a fucking, like, some kind of,
oh, shit.
living dream or something like that, and then he, like, goes away. But then they did, Final Fantasy X-2, and then there was another one after it, and they did bring him back somehow, like, and reunite him with the main female protagonist of the game. But yeah, like, I played through all of that, I'm like, wait a minute, like, not even a real person? Like, that's kind of bullshit.
Alright, I've googled games that make you cry. We've got Life is Strange.
Life is Strange, okay.
That one, I watched that a long time ago.
Yeah, I've seen clips of that one, which... They ended up living, though, at the end, don't they? There was a sequel.
I don't know. It got pretty deep, I remember. I haven't watched it in a long-ass time, though. But we got, Red Dead Redemption 2. Metal Gear Solid, apparently.
See, the story with that, though, and again, I'm sorry if I'm offending anyone that's into it, but, like, it's so... Because it's like espionage, you know? So it's like... everybody's like double crossing everybody, and like it's like all of these like secrets and sneaking around. I can never get into Metal Gear.
Apparently, BioShock Infinite. I played BioShock. Well, I didn't play BioShock. Did I play BioShock 1?
Now, okay, BioShock's where it's like the underwater.
Yeah.
Okay, and they got the big daddies and.
Although I think BioShock
sisters.
Infinite, I think, is above. Like it floats in the air. I think.
Okay.
Same universe, but different space. I believe.
Yeah, it's like it's the future, but like they're in colonial times somehow still. Like,
yeah,
they got,
I don't know what
old timey
emotional they put into Infinite, because in just normal BioShock, I mean, BioShock has the greatest twist in gaming, I would say.
Really?
Yeah, you don't know the BioShock twist?
I suck at shooters, man. So yeah.
Okay, so the BioShock twist, incredible game. If you want to play the game and not get the spoiler, go play it right now. But pretty much the whole game, so you're just like dropped into this. You're in a plane crash. You get off a plane crash. You're in this town, and some guys on the radio is like, "Yo, you gotta help me out. You do me some favors." You know, it's just a game, right? And again, this is like back in like 2000, right? This is like,
yeah.
You know, when you have a game where it's like, "Go do this quest for me." You go do the quest. That was gaming, right? That's what it was, and it just had really good shooting, you know, and all that stuff. And then you get to a point in the game where I don't even know how you get there. But like your task, the guy is telling you got to kill this guy because he's a bad guy, right? And you get to the room, and you like see like crazy writing on the walls that says "Would you kindly," right? And this bad guy reveals to you that the person who's been telling you to do all these things has mind controlled you, and your trigger word is "Would you kindly."
You've told me about this. Okay, but yeah, continue for the viewers.
And then he takes his. It's crazy. You gotta watch the scene. I'm showing Big D the scene, but the bad guy, right? The bad guy, hands you a golf club and says, "Would you kindly kill me?" And you have no more control over your character. It's just a cutscene. Your character takes the golf club and just smacks the shit out of this guy. And he says, his crazy line is, "A man chooses, a slave obeys. Kill." And then you just kill him. This is fucking insane. It's so insane because you just don't see it coming. It just seems like a normal fucking game. You're just given fetch quests by this guy. You're supposed to go kill the bad guy. It's all good, and then it just turns out that this guy's just been using you. You were been mind controlled since the very beginning. The plane crash, you blew up the fucking plane. You were the one who caused it to crash. It's insane. It's like.
So wait, the guy that's been giving you the fetch missions at the end, he's the one that has you bludgeon him with the golf club, right?
No, it's a different. So I don't remember their names, but the guy who's talking in your ear, who's on the radio, wants you to go kill this guy, and this guy is different than the person talking in your ear, and you would think that he would want to save his life, but he doesn't, because he knows he's going to die one way or another.
Oh.
Because you've been told to kill him.
So that was going to be my next question, like, why is he so willing to die?
Because I think he just knows he's going to die. Like, he knows his time's coming, and he's doing a man chooses, a slave obeys. He's choosing his death.
Okay.
So in his eyes, he sees it as being a man. You know?
So then, going back and like playing the game from the beginning, the guy giving you the missions, would he always say, "Would you kindly"?
Not always. There's only a couple times where he says it, but every time he says it, you lose control of your character, which is so fucking cool. Like he only says it like 3 or 4 times, but every time, like I think one of them, like the first time he says it, he's like, "Would you kindly lower your weapon?" And your character lowers his weapon, and you can't pull it back up. It's just like it's so insane. It's like what the fuck.
Shit. So it's like one of those things where it's like you go, like you think back as you played through, and you're like, "Holy fuck, they were doing that the whole time."
Well, I think you have to play it again to see it because that's pretty subtle. Again, he doesn't say it too often. It's a pretty long game, but yeah, it's like, whew.
That's
what
nuts.
a twist. Yeah.
So does that guy ever get his comeuppance then, or like?
I think once you realize he's mind controlling you, then you like lose the radio, so he can't tell you "Would you kindly" anymore, and some other character picks you up and like takes the mind control thing out of your head, and then you go and kill him. I think is how the game ends. But like, you know, the game just seems like a normal game. You just give him fetch quests, you got to kill the bad guy. You're finally going to his chambers, and they just hit you with the craziest fucking twist of all time.
Yeah, that's nuts, man.
Yeah, it's got to be the greatest twist in gaming.
But yeah, I personally am just terrible at shooters, so like I've never delved into BioShock, but it did always seem like a cool concept with the like the injections, you know, that give you different power ups and shit. Like
it's pretty cool. Yeah, man chooses, a slave obeys, man. It's just so crazy. You're just beating the shit out of him with a fucking golf club too. Like he hands you the weapon, just like kill me.
Fuck, I mean, I guess if you gotta go, best to be on your own terms.
Yeah, it was. Because I think he was Like, he was cornered. Like, even if you somehow didn't kill him, I think he was, like, in a building that was going to explode or something. Like, he was fucking dead, no matter what. And he chose his own death as a man. Didn't want to be a slave like you are. That's his whole point, right? He's saying that you're a slave because you're disobeying. You're doing whatever this guy tells you to do.
Yeah. Shit.
And you'll obey me because you'll kill me. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta watch that scene, guys. I might put a link to it in the description, just a clip of it, of you murdering this man, because it's so insane. It's just like I mean, you watch, you remember.
Yeah.
It's just like you're just like sitting. And you gotta remember, like, you have no idea that you're being mind controlled. But it's like the first revelation, the first time you even consider the fact that you're being mind controlled, and the guy just fucking forces you to kill him. And it's just like what? Like,
yeah,
that's
a hell of a way to.
That's
prove
your
it.
reveal, is to force me to kill someone.
Because he could have just been like, "Hey, would you kindly take your clothes off?" You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, no. Would you kindly beat me to death
With a golf club? Yeah.
Like, Jesus.
Yeah. So.
Man.
Pretty hardcore.
Do you recall your worst experience playing a video game? Like, as in, this game is just fucking awful.
I mean, Super Monkey Ball.
Really?
Single player, dude. That thing made me rage so hard. I couldn't get that far at all. Shit was so difficult.
I remember that being popular. Like again, like, it wasn't like, anybody beating the shit out of anybody, so I never played it.
The mini games with friends were awesome, because like you would just like go down a ramp and try to like bounce as far as you can or something.
Yeah.
Like, that was fun. But then like the single player story, like, you're a ball on a platform, and the controls, you don't move the ball, you tilt the platform.
Oh.
So you can imagine how that can be a little frustrating.
That sounds like it would just make me nauseous more
than
anything.
Well, yeah, he definitely does that a little bit too,
Yeah.
for sure. The way they do the camera is pretty good, so it's not too nauseating, but it's like, that one's up there kind of. What are other games that I've played? I mean, usually I don't buy them if they're fucking shit.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I have two contenders. When my mom was stationed in Georgia, I was still living with my aunt in St. Louis. She sent me. The Tasmanian Devil had his own video game for the Sega Genesis.
All right.
And like, it was a platformer, but yeah, it was fucking terrible. Like, the sound effects, like the way he moved. Like, he's supposed to be the Tasmanian Devil, but like, it was one of the slowest fucking main characters I had ever played at the time. It was just awful. And then for the Sega Dreamcast, when I finally moved in with my mom and we moved to Fort Wood, they made a Space Jam video game. But for some reason, it was glitched. No, it was an NBA Jam game. I had a Space Jam game that was scratched and didn't work at all. I never got to play it. So then I got an NBA Jam game, and it was also glitched for some reason. And like, the ball didn't even look like a basketball. It was like a watermelon slice. It looked like, and like, it too was all slow and like fucking. I don't know if it was something wrong with that disc, because like, surely I don't feel like that's how they designed the game to look or operate. But like, yeah, just very terrible graphics on that game. Yeah, the ball wasn't even a ball. It looked like a little triangle, like a little pink triangle, a little slice of watermelon. But yeah, so yeah, either NBA Jam for the Sega Saturn or the Tasmanian Devil game for the Sega Genesis. I would probably.
I don't know. It's like, I don't feel like I've played. I mean, like, I consider myself a gamer, but I just play the same games. I don't really. I haven't gone out and played a lot of different stuff. I'm trying to think, like, I mean, all my like recent games in the last like 10 years, like, you can just go on reviews and just make sure they're good before you get them. Yeah. Right? What about my? Let's see. I got a whole bunch of games over here.
But I mean, sometimes you get free games though, yeah. Like the free game.
I don't
of the
usually
month?
play them though.
Oh
yeah. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was kind of a sad game. I thought it was gonna be more fun, but maybe that's
Really?
maybe it's just because I remember Mario Kart with all my friends and I don't have any more friends to play Mario Kart with.
That's probably it, man. Because yeah, you need to at least like 3 people, I would say, to have like a fucking awesome Mario Kart time. Cause,
Yeah.
like, it's just 2 people. That's just an argument. You know?
Yeah. But I wasn't even 2. I was just like trying to race, and I was pretty boring. So that was a little bit of a flop. But it wasn't like the game was bad. It was just, I didn't have anyone to play it with. And League of Legends, I mean, we can't say that one's bad, because I played a lot of it. Persona, it's a recent game I've played. That one's just incredible.
Yeah, Persona. What was it? I think I played Persona 5. I want to say.
Yeah.
Is that the one with Joker?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that's the one I played.
Yeah, I watched playthrough Persona 5 and I played Persona 4. Both fantastic, and both also have very great twists. I don't think it's better than Bioshock, but both are up there. The Persona 4 twist was it first? It was, I think it was Persona 4. The Persona 4, it wasn't like they didn't have like one great twist. They just had like 37 twists. It's so funny. You're just like, you think it's this, but no, it's actually this. But wait, it's actually was the first thing, but no, it's actually this other thing. You're just like, okay. Got kind of tired after a while, but it was pretty funny. And then Persona 5 twist. That one's just a good one solid twist. Wouldn't say it's better than Bioshock.
No, wait, what was the twist in Persona 5?
That Akechi was the bad guy.
Wait, who?
Akechi. The guy. You must not have played it in a long time.
It's been a while.
He's a guy that you recruit. He's like the last guy you recruit to the squad, and turns out he's the fucking bad guy. But then like you also end up having to like destroy the fucking evil of society, you know? Like just evil incarnate you have to destroy as well.
I think with Persona, the main thing that stuck with me, it was like I didn't realize it until near the end, but it's like I've been tricked into playing a dating sim, basically.
Oh yeah.
Like,
What do you mean tricked? I think that was...
I didn't know that was the main fucking goal of the game, because like it got to the point where I'm just like, all right, let's get to the next day. I gotta go back and talk to this doctor bitch again. Like,
yeah, you gotta talk to the emo goth doctor. Yeah.
Like, God,
Requirement.
man, I'm just playing a dating sim. Like, that was the main thing that I took away from Persona. But like the music was still cool. I found.
Yeah.
I liked his relationship with the guy that like was he like a. He wasn't a bartender, but like
his dad.
Yeah, the kid slept above.
Yeah.
And he
coffee shop guy.
Yeah, teach him how to make coffee
dad.
And curry, was it, or something like that?
Yeah, but I mean that's what it was. It just like not really necessarily a dating sim because you don't have to date any of them, but like you have to progress the relationship with them to get the story. So yeah, it was pretty much dating sim. But then they also had just the overarching story, you know, where you're purging the evil from the world.
Yeah.
You know, pretty cool. But the Persona's what you might have to replay because it is kind of a.
I feel like I need to because
I mean it's a long ass game. Who wants to replay Persona?
Well, especially like with
200 hours
manipulating the days. Yeah, man. But shit, I mean, as many times as I played through Elden Ring, like, and that's kind of turned into this love-hate relationship as well. Like, it's.
Yeah, I thought that was only good. I haven't heard many people say bad things about Elden Ring.
Well, you find yourself, at least I did, like, I mean, granted, it was only when I would die, but, like, that's kind of, like, the thing with Souls-like games is you die a lot, but, like, I found myself shaking the controller like, I hate this fucking game! But then, like, of course, I would end up playing for a couple more hours, but, like...
Yeah. I mean, we've all been there. Just gotta let it out sometimes.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. But, yeah, it's... I wanted to get into the PvP side a bit, but, like, everybody agreed on, like, the level that you should stop leveling, and I've leveled, like, at least 100 levels past.
You can't like undo that. I thought you go like bonfire and you can like undo it, right?
You
reallocate your skills.
You can reallocate your stats, but you can't leave any on the table.
Oh,
so
okay.
like, yeah, I would still have to.
So you'd have to start a whole new character.
Yeah, in which that's why I've collected so many things and I've forgotten where most of them came from. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I was like, oh fuck it, you know.
Not worth it. No.
Yeah. I missed that train.
Yeah, I've only really heard good things about Elden Ring. From the YouTube clips and stuff that I've seen, everyone just speaks very highly of it. I'm not a fan of the die 20 times until you get it right genre, so.
Well, and yeah, that's definitely what you would be doing unless you're willing to, because I mean, there's YouTube clips of pretty much anything that you would want to do in the game. So like, if you wanted to spoil yourself and look it up, you could definitely look up how to do. But then too, like there is a level of execution. Like some things you, even if you know what to do, like the boss could still kill you. Like, you know, RNG is in, you know, most games like that. So, you know, if the boss decides to, you know, stomp 3 times in a row as opposed to just one time, you know, you might fucking die still. But
yeah, but if I'm watching a YouTube video on like how to beat every fight, then I'm not playing the game for the fighting. I'm playing the game for the story. At which point, why don't I just watch someone play it on YouTube?
Well, and then even then, if you watch like Because like I've played that game for well over 300 hours, and I still don't really have a full grasp of what the story is. Like
Exactly.
they leave, it's so vague, and they leave so many things up to interpretation. You know what I mean? Like all they have are theories, but that's Souls like games as well. Like they don't just spell it out for you. It's up for you to interpret. And then too with that game, there's like 5 or 6 different endings. So like there's no real consensus on what the canon ending is, even. You know what I mean? So yeah, that story is up for interpretation, to say the least.
Yeah, if it comes to a game, if I can't get behind the gameplay, but the story's good, I usually just watch it on YouTube. Or if it's like a game that's like to play, you just gotta dump in a lot of hours. But like the story's still cool, but the story's not as many hours.
Yeah.
Then you just watch a cut YouTube video where they cut out all the grinding part.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I did that with God of War too.
Yeah.
Like I'm not.
I think that's what everyone did with God of War.
Yeah, I'm not really into like the.
Who the hell actually played God of War? No one.
Yeah.
No one actually played it. No one really cares about the gameplay of God of War. You just want the story. You just
Yeah.
want to know about the kid and his dad. That's all you gotta know. Well, folks, I think we're pretty much about done. Oh, you got anything else to talk about?
Yeah, no, I've just been winging it for the
Last hour, last 2 hours, really.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, don't forget the Lego thing. Let's show them again real quick.
Yeah.
In case you made it all the way to the end here.
Please comment down below which journey you'd like us to go
on. We got DeLorean. Don't forget the DeLorean. Might be a fan favorite here.
Which I still maintain that this movie should have been called To the Future, as opposed to Back to the Future. But maybe that's
the second movie.
Well, yeah, the second movie definitely could have been called Back to the Future, but the first movie should have been called To the Future.
How do you know they weren't going
back,
though?
Or Back to the Present, even.
We've got Viking Village for option number 3. I can't really get them all. Here, we'll put it like over there.
Yeah.
There we go. I can't even see what you guys can see. Hopefully it's left. Or the Space Shuttle. So let us know.
Space is
I
definitely...
don't even know if I can be seen right now. Maybe I gotta go up.
Yeah, I think I'm not. I don't know. But
let us know what you want.
Yeah.
And as always, don't jump off bed.
Philosophy!
We're gonna need you to...
Just pick one and stick with it.